Thanks every Sunday. Pat Sullivan from Sullivan Hardware and Garden gives us great advice for do-it-yourself home improvements. Today he talks about ways to take care of your grill.
You know, some people say it's almost grilling time. Some people say it's always grilling time, but no matter what, you got to maintain your grill. So it is a good time once a year, maybe especially if you don't use the grill a lot, to really get in there and figure out, you know, maintain it, make sure it's safe, it's clean. There's all kinds. This used to be the only grill brush. This was kind of the standard, and you got it in this model, and then there was a short handle. That was pretty much it. The problem is with these is they fill up with grease and stuff so quickly. Now they've got all these new models right in here. So there's T-bars and then these little detail brushes and stuff. I kind of like this one myself. And then there's also scrub brushes too. Some people, you know, occasionally you'll see on Facebook and different places a report of like a wire getting out into someone's hamburger and then bad, but rather rare. But if that does worry you, there's scrub brushes. There are also wood paddles you can use. But using a good T-handle brush, cleaning off, you know, so you want to make sure the grates are nice and clean. This one actually isn't too bad. So obviously that's pretty obvious for most people. But underneath here, there is the flavorizer bars. And these flavorizer bars, it's okay to have a little bit of flavor, but if they get too caked, I would take them out and use a degreaser on them and clean those up. If they have holes in them, which sometimes they'll rust out, and it doesn't. This is a Weber. Everybody has a certain variety of these, but if they're rusted, replace them because that lets too much heat in there. So up in here, they'll clean up under. There's, you know, number one call to the Weber hotline is the paint is peeling on the inside of the lid. Right in here, you'll actually start to get, see right in there, there's, you probably can't see it very well, but there's some lipping up that looks like paint. That's grease. That's dried grease. And getting rid of it, you can get all kinds of sprays, grate cleaners, exterior cleaners, and you can get in there and just spray, let it do the work, and get in there and scrape that away. But that is not peeling paint. That is actually grease. Now, probably the biggest thing down here on the bottom. Now, this grill is a mess underneath here, but right here, this is the culprit because it's disgusting. But if you don't clean that off, this catches fire. And then when you get those big grill fires and it's shooting out the back towards the propane, but that has to be cleaned. And then there's pans under there you should replace. Propane, if it's a propane grill or even a natural gas grill, get yourself a bottle of soap, and then once a year just go in there and soak those joints. Make sure if you see bubbles, you've got a leak in there. So do that and check all the way up underneath here. There's some connections there that you should check as well. The propane tank itself, that can be a little scary. One is just a maintenance thing. We fill propane tanks, and I can't tell you how many propane tanks we fill because people think that it's almost empty and they have company coming over. Well, the best way, a lot of the grills have a really good scale, but we do it by weight. An empty tank, 18 pounds. A full tank, 38 pounds. So this is why they call this a 20-pound propane tank. We're putting 20 pounds of propane in it. So your propane is between 18 and 38. That is your deal there. Now, what I would do, I'd buy a second tank. Because what everybody does is they run, when it gets to a quarter, they run to the store and get it filled, and you're kind of wasting money. So what you can do, have a second tank, then you know it's there, let it run all the way up, put your second tank on. When you transport this thing, don't lay it in the car like this. Secure it upright like this. If it's down like this, the liquid can get out. If it opened up, it will expand to, I think, 270 times its volume. Good things don't happen then. So be really careful with these. Upright in a position and going to kind of tie it down. Let's keep safe. Going to have a great grilling season.